Hey guys, Steve here. Today we'll be looking at a couple games in the TVP VTU. It's Czech Tier 8 medium tank. For this tank I got the... It's kind of, I think it's like the second to last loadout. It's an 8.8 gun and upgraded everything else. There's a higher alpha gun which is a lot less accurate, and I haven't actually tried it out, but looking at the stats and just reading a few things online, doesn't sound like that's a very good package, so I'm not even going to unlock it because it's not part of the Skoda T50. In general, if excuse me, if you have the option to unlock something on a lower tier tank that's used in a later tank, you should always do it in the lower tier tank, just because you're kind of eliminating some of the grind of the higher tier tank. And like especially tier 9s, out of the box they're really shitty in general, so anything you can do to speed up the grind definitely helps you out. So on this map I always go to the right side here. Looks like they only sent one batch at the light tank. Anytime you can kill anything that's called batch at early in the match, you should definitely try and do that. Here I'm doing something that I recommend you try and learn. It's aiming on the move without auto-locking, just by using your right thumb. It's a little bit tricky. It's one of the more tricky things mechanically to do in this game, but once you get the hang of it, it'll help you deal with those pesky light tanks that are kind of swarming you. So we're able to take him out, and at this point the game is effectively won. You know, it's I mean, there's plenty of players in this game that can lose a game like this, but we should have the advantage because their entire team's in the top northwest corner of the map, so we have complete map control at this point. And we're able to spot an arty here. You see I aim in without actually aiming at the guy. When they're red, that's when that exclamation point on the screen pops up saying that they're targeted. So a good tip is always to aim slightly near them, let the gun fully aim in, and then point it at them. That way a good player will react when the exclamation point says targeted on their screen. Some players won't, but get in the habit of doing that as well, and that should improve your gameplay. So we do have a couple of tanks that kind of broke through that are coming around to our salt. We should be keeping an eye on that, but we got enough guys on our side here that they should be keeping an eye on them. Looks like they're kind of pushing salt to root out the arty. And you can see on the map, no one's actually responding. It's tough to rely on your teammates in this game because a lot of them aren't even using the good map. They're using that compass map, so they probably don't even know we have two guys that broke through. But even if they are using the good map, a lot of players don't know what to do. So we're trying to deal with this Tiger 131. He's kind of hiding behind his dead Soviet artillery corpse there. If I could go back and play this game over again, I'd probably push south when I notice those guys on the map, but looks like our team is finally responding to the situation. There's nothing more frustrating than losing a game where you're up, you know, certainly by this lead. I've lost games, numerous games, where you're up by a huge margin tank-wise, and they go out and cap because everyone on the team's just being lazy and doesn't want to deal with it. But you can see it, you know, like I called earlier, the map or the game was won extremely early just because we're able to basically encircle these guys. So we're able to rack up quite a bit of damage for this tank. Got a J Panther here, just kind of cleaning him up. Yeah, this map I feel like on the left is more of a corridor setup, which I try and avoid just because I kind of get standoffish. I like to play the more dynamic sides of the map, and in this particular map that's the right hand side. So generally in my experience, whoever wins the right hand side will win the match, just because it's easy to project outward from that position. So I got about 4K combined damage there. It was a pretty good game, and racked up an ace in that one. And the next match is Salvage Yard, which is a variant of Melanovka, I believe. I am a bottom tier in this game. I believe it's tier, yeah, it's a tier 10 game, so being a tier 8, I'm trying to get people to go on the hill. Generally in this match, whoever, I'd say probably 8 out of 10 times, whoever wins the hill will win the game. The problem a lot of people have, like a lot of people understand that, but I see a lot of players stopping like halfway up the hill for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think they can get like sniping shots across the map or something, but you'll see it in this game. Like the opposing team basically stalls halfway up the hill, and then our team can just rain down fire on them. So if I played with a mic, I'd be yelling at my teammates every time I played this, just go up the fucking hill. So anyway, just being a bottom tier, I'm gonna plan to play kind of this area. I'll move forward a little bit, trying to get some flanking shots in them. I don't play over here too out. Normally I'm gonna play the top of the hill, but just being bottom tier, this tank is very poorly armored, so I'm kind of, I don't want to say fearful, but I'm being cautious, trying to, you know, you can get deleted if you get 4 or 5 guys shooting at you at once. That happened to me last night in this tank where, you know, within 5 seconds of one guy shooting at me, like 4 or 5 guys all shot me, and I was just completely wrecked. So that light tank that I wasn't able to spot across the field flushed me out. This is a position I'll play when I have a good gun depression medium tank. You can play it either on like D6, it looks like, or this side. What you're able to do over here is spot a lot of guys and then pick up a lot of assistant damage. You can see that bad chat. He must have ammo racked that guy. When I was playing it, I figured first I thought he got artied, and then I saw we didn't have arty, and then I figured maybe 2 or 3 tank destroyers all shot him at the same time, but looks like that bad chat one-shot him after I hit him for the first thing. So you'll notice I hit his ammo rack, and then he must have hit his ammo rack again and blew him up. So I was lucky that I put 2,000 spotting damage in the pocket right off the bat. This position can be risky. I guess they didn't stall as far down as I thought they did, but it's a little bit more risky if they got a lot of guys in like the EF0 area. You do have to be careful playing here, but it's, to see in this particular instance, it's actually quite open, so I got a little bit more freedom to move it around than a lot of times. If you play this in a typical game, you'll kind of want to just peek here, keep the guys lit, and hope that arty or like TDs will shoot them. And then once in a blue moon, you'll be able to get a shot. I don't know what's going on with this T49 if this engine's wrecked. It just seems like he's moving really sluggish to me. But it's not really paying attention to us, so ram him and finish him off. So now this is the strength of this position. Once you clear this out, you can actually put some shots into the back of these guys, which gives you damage, but also distracts them, which allows the guys on top of the hill to really start raining down fire. So put a shot in the chieftain on the side of the turret there. You can see that distracted him. Now he's kind of looking at us. And then we have a Kronwagen right there as well. Looks like he kind of backs up to reload, so I'm able to put a shot on him there. Or no, he didn't shoot the Sheridan. I don't know what the guy was doing backing up like that. But you can see once you get 2 angles of fire in these guys, they really get distracted. And, you know, your team will definitely be able to take control at that point. Again, a lot of people like to play the south side of this map. I feel like it's another stalemate situation where people will sit where that heavy tank is an H1 and then kind of like the J line, or I guess the K line, where those guys are. Maps where you end up just sitting there the whole time and like people are behind cover just barely, you know, they'll light each other, then go back behind cover and nothing really happens. Like here you got the valley in Lakeville, for instance, or the west hand side of Steps, like those type of areas and maps where the action moves really slowly. I personally try and avoid, because I feel like the dynamic side of the map where things are actually happening and one team can push through if they're playing aggressively, that's where the game's going to be won, you know, 80-90% of the time. So you see here, that's AMX 50-100. I think we were able to track them, so we were able to take a couple blind shots into them. And from this point, obviously the game is over. We're just able to go out there and pick up some more damage. We do have a, I think it's a full health T62A over here. And then we do have the Panzer 7. So at this point, I'm just trying to get some more damage, trying to push this into an ace situation. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's taking one hit the whole game. So I mean, if you have 2 tanks left and you've really taken no damage, and I can't imagine he's dealt a lot of damage, it's not a good position. You know, these guys sitting here the whole game, they're not deciding the outcome of the game. Maybe it might be fun to play. I don't know. I've never really played down here. I guess it's worthless, but I'd always recommend, you don't have to be in the thick of the things on the side that matters, but identifying each map what side determines the outcome of the game generally, and play that side. Try and influence it. You'll win a lot more games. You know, like going back to Lakeville, someday I'll make a video on how to play it, but it's just the classic example. The people that win the city win that match 9 out of 10 times. So that's it for this game. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, you can consider subscribing. If you have a comment on the TVP VTU, please leave it below. And we'll see you guys all later. Alright, peace.